Alright everybody, Johnny Prime here. Gonna do a little cooking demo and recipe for how to make a ribeye at home. Alright. So when you're picking out meat at the grocery store, make a ribeye at home, first thing you want to look for is in here, the intramuscular fat, or the marbling. Alright, don't worry about this so much, these other spots, because that's mostly going to melt away, and that's not what indicates the quality of the meat in here. You see the nice fat cap. So you can get a pretty good piece at the grocery store, and if you punch it up the right way, you can get it to taste just as good as a steakhouse. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now a lot of people might get pissed, especially the purists, the meat purists out there. But when you get a choice like this, piece of choice from the supermarket, a lot of times it's good to use a marinade, because you're going to jump up the flavors. You're going to bring out some of the natural flavors from the meat. So what I'm going to do is make a quick soak marinade. Alright, so for the marinade you want some rosemary, that's soy sauce there, just a little bit, a couple cloves of garlic, and some olive oil. Now with the garlic, you want to crush this shit, pulverize it with one of those garlic crushers, that squeezes through the little holes, because you want this stuff to float around and kind of get all over the place. We're going to use a little more garlic before we cook it too, but that's just to get it in the soak, and this will make for a nice marinade. Pop these fuckers in there, squeeze them through, get all that shit out, and the last one. Alright, good enough for government work. Now you just scoop all that up and throw it in your marinade, mix that shit around, and next we'll add a couple of spices. Alright. At this stage, I'm just going to add some onion powder and crushed red pepper, just to give it some flavor while it's sitting in there soaking. We're not going to do salt and pepper until right before it goes on the heat source. And now, give that beautiful baby a well-needed bath. Get in there, motherfucker. Yeah. Alright, so you're going to let this sit. You're going to flip it every so often. You could stick it in the fridge for now, but you'll want to let it rest to room temperature before you actually throw it on the grill. We'll get to that. See if we could do this bullshit with one hand. Of course there's no room in the fridge. Alright, we got it in. Now you're going to let that sit in there for a while, and when you're ready to have it. It's 9 in the morning here, so I'm not ready to eat just yet. But it is Saturday and I'm thirsty. Now I don't want to get slammed. There's a good breakfast beer. Alright, so now it's noon, and I'm fucking starving. So I flipped this thing around a few times. It's been soaking for a few hours. That's all you really need to get the good flavor in there. So I'm gonna let this get to room temperature, because it's always best to cook good meat, once it's relaxed for a while at room temperature. Alright, so first thing you gotta do after you've let it rest, get to room temperature, is get a plate, set yourself up a nice little bed of paper towels, because what you want to do is dry this fucking thing off completely. You don't want all that oil sitting in the pan. It's just not going to cook right. So you want to get all this stuff off, right? Dry it completely, then we're going to season it. So you pop that on there. Oh wow, the fat cap's coming off. That's going to be nice and tender. Grab some paper towels, dry it off, pat it down, get all the excess oil out. Trust me, there's enough fat in this fucking thing to get that flavor and that nice drippiness. Alright. Alright, this thing's ready for seasoning. So we're ready for seasoning. We got some cracked black pepper, right? Be generous with this shit too, because you know, it helps to form a nice crust and you get all this stuff heated up and going. A little bit of garlic powder, you know, got plenty of garlic in there from the marinade, but just a little bit of powder. And some coarse kosher salt. I like to use this. It's got some black truffle in it, you know, because I'm fancy and shit. And then flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. Alright, so we got all our shit here ready to roll. Pan's getting hot. And the reason we use a pan is because it's a nice flat surface and that'll help to sear the meat and lock in all the juices. If you get something like a skirt steak or a flank, you know, those are great for the grill. You can even do ribeyes on the grill too, but you know, just know that you might lose a little bit of liquid through the grill lines. And I got my marinade right here. I'm going to throw those pieces of rosemary back in as it's cooking, just to keep it going with that rosemary flavor. Maybe even scoop in some of the garlic. There she goes. Really only needs a couple of minutes on each side. You know, I noticed that this cut is a little bit diagonally. It's not a straight across cut, not flat. So one side might cook a little bit faster than the other, which that kind of sucks. But you know, you're dealing with grocery store cuts here. These aren't the greatest butchers in the world. They're just, you know, getting through their days, cutting it up, shrink wrapping it, throwing it out there for everyone to buy. But you know, it'll do. It'll get the job done. Saturday lunch, here we come. We're a few minutes in, so flip it. Nice looking sear, not bad. Not bad for no culinary school. Alright, this bitch is done. I'm going to shut the heat. Take it off the heat. Then, now is probably the most important part of the process. You gotta let this bitch rest. You gotta give her a break before you cut into her. Alright, take her off, let her sit down on the cutting board, and just wait. I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, you know? Let it cool down, let it rest. All those juices are gonna re-soak back into the meat. And then we'll cut it up all fancy like. Alright, she's well rested. We're ready to cut this up and get to some eating. You know, not too much bleed out. We did alright. Feels like it's done the right amount. You know, not too much over, not too much under. Alright, so let's get it off the bone. Looks like it's a good amount of doneness. Come back with the serrated knife. Let's check out the fat cap. It's alright. Let's check out the roast part. Not bad. Alright, I'm gonna eat. See you guys later.